Okay, for this project I am using, I got the big cone of it, Peaches and Cream, which is a 100% cotton 4-ply yarn. Now you don't have to use this brand, but I probably would recommend cotton. Since it's a beach bag, it's going to be a lot stronger. I mean, you can use acrylic if you want. It's not going to make the pattern look any different, but it's just cotton's a lot stronger. The color I'm using is called Ocean Stripes, and it's the big cone, and I think there's over 600 yards in it. Let me look. I can never find it here. Yeah, nope, 706 yards in here, so I'm going to be using this big cone. Okay, and you're also going to need a piece of plastic canvas. This is going to go on the bottom of the bag to make the bag stronger. So this is just regular plastic canvas that you find at the craft aisle. So I'll set that to the side. Now for the handles, you don't have to do the same kind of handles that I'm doing. But if you want, what you need is a length of rope. Now I got my rope at my local roping supply store. You can get it at just any, probably a hardware store, building supply store, anything like that. And this is 100% nylon, and it's 5/8 inch thick. And I got a 6-foot section, and it's not very much money. This was only like $4 for this, and it's going to make me 2 handles for mine. I might not need quite that much, but that's just what I got. And that's if you want to do that. You don't have to do that, but if you want to make your own handles, you can do that too. But that's what I got, that. And then I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook. And then if you want to use any beads or anything to decorate your bag with, I don't know for sure if I'm going to or not, but you can always get them too. Okay, you want to start off with the chain of 41, and this is going to be the base of the bag. So once you get your chain of 41 made, you want to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and remember that we never count the one that's on our hook. So second one over, single crochet, and now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch for the length of the chain. Just like that. 1 single all the way to the end. Okay, once you make it to the end, you should have a total of 40 stitches. And now what you want to do is chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to do another row of single crochet, and we're going to put our first single crochet right here in this very first stitch. That chain 1 that we did does not count as anything, so go ahead and go right in the very first spot and single crochet, and then we'll work 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of the row. And when we get to the end of the row, we still should have 40 single crochets. So just like that. Okay, once you make it to the end and you have your 40 stitches, we're just going to repeat that row. We're by chaining 1 and turning and single crocheting right back into that very first stitch, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch across, and we're just going to keep repeating this row until our piece gets wider. Just like that. And when you make it to the end of the row, you still should have 40 stitches. And we're going to keep repeating this. Every row should have 40 stitches at the end. Okay, you want to do it for a total of 16 rows. So you have 40 single crochet in each row, and you do a total of 16. Now what you want to do is we're going to go around the whole piece with a row of single crochet. So right where we left off, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to work down this side, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. So we're going to go right back into the same stitch here of our last single crochet. You see we put a single crochet there. our first one's going to go right here. And then you can see the last stitch of the row. Just go right around that last stitch is where you want to put your single crochets. I got a knot in my yarn. I hate that. And you just continue to work, putting one single crochet at the end of every row here. And you can pretty much see where I'm putting them at the end of the row, like here, 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 here. It's pretty easy to tell. Okay, then when you get to the last stitch here, and then right here, this first stitch of the long row here, we're going to put 3 single crochets into this first stitch here. And that'll help around the corners so the corners don't really stick up. So 3 into that one. And now I'm going to continue along this long side here, working 1 single crochet in every stitch, and you can pretty much see where the stitches go pretty well now on this round or this row. So just like that. So I'm going to continue working, and I'll meet you right here at this next corner. Okay, when you make it to the last stitch over here of this row, you want to put 3 single crochets into it. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll work down this short side again, putting 1 single crochet at the end of every row here, just like we did on the other side. Trying to hide that towel as I go, so. Okay, then when you make it up here to the corner, the first stitch of this top row here, you want to put 3 single crochets through it. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to work my way across the long part again, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get back to my starting point. Okay, when you make it to the last stitch over here, you want to put 3 single crochets into that last stitch. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet we made here. Not this chain one that we made. We chained 1, remember? We're not going to slip stitch into that. It's this first single crochet here. And it's kind of along the side. It's the first one you put in the first row. Go into that one and slip stitch and tie off. And you should have a total of 118 stitches all the way around. And that's what you want to have. And you want to make 2 pieces exactly the same, just like this. That way we can cut our plastic canvas and put it in between them, and then we'll single crochet it together, and that'll make the bottom nice and strong. So you want 2 pieces exactly the same. 118 stitches should be your stitch count when you go all the way around. Okay, so what you want to do is cut your piece of plastic canvas to fit it just about like this. Mine's actually a little short. I ran out and it's just a little bit short on each side, but that ain't really going to matter. But just get it as close as you can. Maybe just leave like a row along the edges that it's not touching, like that. Of course, you probably want to do it on this side too, but I just don't have any more plastic canvas right now, and I want to finish this bag up for you guys, so I think that one's going to work for me. So I'm going to take this one with it. I'm going to put the bad side facing up. Or I guess if you have a bad side, yeah, the row of single crochet, you want the bad side to be facing up on that, and then the good side to be facing up on this. And it doesn't matter which way you put it here. Okay, what I'm going to do is hold my work like this. This would be the bottom and this would be the top. I'm going to find the 3rd single crochet in this corner, or the middle of the 3 single crochets. I'm going to find the middle one, put my hook into it, and then I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm going to find the middle of the 3 that's in that corner. I believe it's this one right here. And now that's where I'm going to start my yarn. And I'm going to start by chaining 1. I guess I wouldn't be working this way. I'm going to be working this way. Okay, now I'm going to go back into that same stitch and I'm going to single crochet. Like that. And now I'm going to grab the next stitch here and the next stitch on the back. You got to look for it and make sure you're getting the right stitches. And single crochet, and again the next stitch here and the next stitch on the back and a single crochet, the next stitch here and the next stitch on the back, single crochet, next stitch on the back, single crochet. And we're doing it to where the single crochets are facing us now. The right side of the single crochets are facing us because we're working this way. Go into the next stitch and then the next stitch on the back and single crochet, and we're just going to do this all the way around the whole entire piece. Just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Even the corners, they just get 1 in every stitch. Just like this. So I'm going to keep going around until I get, I'm going to go around here until I get back that down maybe to here, and then I'll meet you up over here, and that's when we'll insert our piece of plastic canvas. Okay, I've been working all the way around here, and now I'm just going to kind of slip my plastic canvas in here now. That, and now I'm going to continue sewing or single crocheting it together just like we've been doing. Just like that. Now when you make it all the way back around to your starting point, you still should have 118 stitches. Okay, I've made it around to the beginning and I did end up with 118 stitches. I can't believe it. I usually don't, but I did. So now what I want to do, and if you have 118, is you want to slip stitch into that first single crochet, and not the chain 1 but the first single crochet. And now what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our work. So we're going to be turning our work every round. We're not going to keep going round and around. Every round is going to be a turn. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right back into that same stitch that I just slip stitched into, and let me look at it here. Sometimes I get confused. Single crochet right back into that same stitch, like that. And now I'm going to do a triple crochet into the next stitch. So I'm going to yarn over twice and triple right into the next. So actually we're working on the back side of the work. You can see the single crochet, that's the back row of it. And this, we're working on the back side, but we want to do that. The next stitch will be a single crochet, and then the next stitch will be a triple crochet, and then a single crochet, and then a triple crochet. It's hard to show you because my plastic canvas doesn't let my work bend very well. And then a single crochet and a triple crochet. And we're going to repeat this single crochet, triple crochet all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Triple crochet and single crochet. Now I'm going to show you why we're working on the back side of our work now. Now when we turn it around and we start working on the front side, you'll see these bobbles show up on the front. So in order for these little notches to show up on the front, you have to work them from the back. So anyways, I'm just going to keep going, working a triple crochet and then a single into the next, triple into the next, and single into the next, triple into the next, and single into the next. And you repeat that just all the way around the whole piece until you get back to your starting point. Okay, once you made it all the way back to the beginning, you should have ended in a triple crochet. And now we're just going to end by slip stitching into our first single crochet, not the chain one, but the first single crochet. And we're going to chain one and turn our work. Now you can see we'll be working on the front side because the bobbles here are on the front. We work them on the back, but they turn out on the front. So now you want to go ahead and single crochet right back into that same stitch, and at the end of that round you still should have 118 stitches. At the end of every row now or round, it's 118 stitches. It's always going to be 118. So you want to go ahead and single crochet right back into that single crochet, right, this first one here, like that. And now we're going to do one single crochet in every stitch across. So we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and to the next, and you can see we're single crocheting in the top of the triple crochet and into the single crochet that's between it. Single crochet to the top of that triple and single crochet into the single crochet in between it. So it's just one single crochet in every stitch around until you get back to the beginning. And remember, when you get back, you still should have 118 stitches. Just like that. And the more rows you do, you'll see the bag will start to turn up and actually form a bag. I know now it's kind of just laying flat, but it'll look better eventually. Okay, when you make it back around, you still should have your 118 stitches, and you want to go ahead and slip stitch into that first single crochet, not the chain one, but the single crochet. And now it's just a repeat of those two rows. So we're going to chain one and turn our work. And now we'll be working on the back side of our work again. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch right back into that same stitch that we just we're going to go ahead and single crochet, right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. And then it's going to be a triple crochet into the next stitch. And then a single into the next. And then triple into the next. And single into the next. So we're just repeating the row before last. Triple into the next. And single. Triple. And single. And as you can see, if you flip your work to the right side, it's making the bobbles on the front. So you just want to repeat that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. When you get back to the beginning, you just slip stitch into your first single crochet, and you should have 118 stitches. And then you just chain one and turn, and then you do a row of single crochet. And then it's a row of these little bobbles again, and then a row of single crochet, a row of bobbles. So it's just these 2 rows off and on until you get the bag as tall as you want it to be. And I'm not sure how many more rows I'm going to do, but I got quite a few more to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and I'll let you know here in just a second how many total rows that I do. Okay, I went ahead and did a total of 31 rows, and that is counting that very first row of single crochet down here that we single crocheted our base together with. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so forth, all the way to 31. So your last row should be a single crochet row, and I did do that. I'm not going to slip stitch and turn. I'm going to work in rounds across the top now. So you're going to need a stitch marker, and I'm just going to use this piece of yarn right here for my stitch marker. And it's kind of big, and I apologize, I don't have a lot of table space here. Dropping my yarn everywhere. Okay, you still should have your 118 stitches after that row of single crochet. What I'm going to do here, instead of turning, I'm not going to be turning my work anymore. I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker right there. And now I'm going to jump over and single crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to do 6 single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease. So I'm going to jump over to the first one, and that counts as my first single crochet. So there, I want to do 6 in a row. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now I'm going to do a single crochet decrease, and it's worked over 2 stitches. So what I do is I go into the next stitch and I draw up a loop, and then I go into the next one after that and I draw up a loop, and now I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops. That took 2 stitches and made it into 1. And now what I'm going to do is 6 single crochets in a row again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to go into the next one and draw up a loop, and then go into the next one and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3. Single crochet decrease. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around until I get back to my stitch marker. So it's 6 single crochets in a row again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a single crochet decrease over the next 2. So you go in the next one, drop a loop, and then the next one and drop a loop, and yarn over and go all through all 3 loops. So I'm going to repeat this all the way around. 6 single crochets and then a decrease, 6 single crochets and then a decrease, until I get over here to my stitch marker. Okay, once you make it back around, and after I just did my last decrease, and you should have 6 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just go ahead and single crochet in each of those 6. So you won't have room to put another decrease, which is fine. Now you should have a total of 104 stitches now when you get back around. Now all you want to do is move your stitch marker up like that. And now we're going to work around just putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Just jump over there to the next single crochet and 1 single crochet in every stitch around. No decreasing now. And you just work 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back to your stitch marker. And when you get back to your stitch marker, you still should have 104 stitches. Okay, once you made it around, you just go ahead and move your stitch marker up and make sure that you have 104 stitches. Now I'm going to mark off for the armholes, not the armholes, I'm sorry, thinking of a dress, the handle holes for my ropes. So what I want to do, I move my stitch marker up. I want to put 1 single crochet in the first 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to skip the next 2 and single crochet in the next. So skip 2 and single crochet into the next. So we got 1 little opening here. Now I want to single crochet into the next 22, and that is counting this one I just did. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So that was 22. And now I'm going to chain 2 again. 1, 2. I'm going to skip 2, skip, single crochet into the next. So that is our next hole there for our rope. And now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 26 stitches, counting this one as my number 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, here's 25 and 26. Now again, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to skip the next 2, skip, single crochet into the next. That is our 3rd hole. And now I'm going to do 1 single crochet into the next 22 again, this being my first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, and 22. Again, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, skip, skip, single crochet into the next, and that is our fourth and final hole for our rope. And now we should have 20 stitches remaining, counting this one right here. So go ahead and single crochet into the last 20. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when you make it back around to your stitch marker, you should have 96 stitches now, plus you'll have 4 of these chain 2 spaces. So what we're going to do is go ahead and move our stitch marker up, and we're going to go around, and we're going to make it where we have 104 stitches again. So we're going to go ahead and put 1 single crochet in each stitch until we get to our first chain space. So that's the first 6 stitches here. Okay, and then when you get to your chain 2 space, you just want to put 2 single crochets through the space. Just right through it like that. Just like that. So now we got a hole there of where I'm going to put my rope through. And it's going to be a tight fit, but that's what you want because you don't want it slipping out. And now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. Okay, I'm coming up to my next chain 2 space, and again I'm just going to put 2 single crochets right through that chain space like that. And then I'm going to start again with the first single crochet and work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space, and that's where I'll put 2 single crochets through the chain 2 space. And then you work again 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to your next chain 2 space, and you do the same. And then you just finish out working 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get back to the beginning. And now when you get back to the beginning, you should have 104 stitches again. Okay, I've made it back to the beginning, and you can see I went through each one of the 4 chain spaces and I put 2 single crochets in them. Now what I'm going to do is move my stitch marker up, and you should have 104 stitches now. And I'm going to do 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So just 1 in every stitch until I get back to my stitch marker. And when I get back to my stitch marker, I just move it up and I continue around again. And I want to do that for a total of 3 more times, this being my first round here. See, when I get to this, I'm just single crocheting on the single crochet that we put in that space there. Just like that. So 3 rounds, 3 more rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and you should have 104 stitches at the end of every round. Okay, once you made it all the way around, after that 3 rounds of single crochet and you're back to your stitch marker, you can pull it out and go ahead and slip stitch into the next stitch, and then we'll tie that off like that, and we can hide that tail. And now we're going to add the handles. So what you want to do is take your length, your 6-foot length of rope that you got, and cut it in half. Now it's good when you cut it in half to tape the ends up tight, which with some kind of tape. You can take it off later, but if you don't, then it ends up kind of like this, which is fine. I'll probably leave it like this, but it just makes it harder to get to through the hole. But anyways, now you got 2-3 feet lengths of rope, and you just want to take it and from the behind, it's going to be a tight fit, pull it through your first hole here like that, and then you can do the same for the other side, which I didn't tape up very good because I wanted to show you that that's what it looked like if you didn't tape it up, but I just kind of drag it all the way in there. There we go. Now once you get your handles, that's about as long as you want them. What we're going to do is tie these, get these equal here, and then we're just going to tie them in a knot, a big knot. So we'll just take it and wrap it around, tie it real tight, as tight as you can get it. Like that. Do the same on the other one. You can take the tape off too. I'll have to take the tape off this one to get it even. Just have that to show you. Then it's easier just to hold it together that way. But make that real tight, like that. And now you can untangle them or untape them. My husband did this. He cut this for me. Taped it up all weird. I think he likes to make it hard on me sometimes. Just make sure that it's real tight, like that. That you're not super tight. If you wanted to add an extra strength to the knot, which I think it'd probably be okay, but if you wanted to, you could dab some hot glue in between, but that's probably not even necessary. I'm cutting this. Okay. Now you can undo that. Now you can, I like to pull mine all out like that so they're all dangling. And you can cut them a little shorter if you want, which I'll probably trim mine up just a little bit. But that's what you want to do on both sides. It's just a knot. And you want to make sure, try to get both handles the same size. So do this on the other side too. I'll trim these up maybe a little bit shorter, but I like them kind of dangling. That's really just your preference. But I'm going to get my other handle on.